Alrighty, guys, so Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was interesting. And I'm not even talking about the quality of the film. I mean, we can have that discussion of whether or not I liked it another day. I don't think I've really touched on it that much on the channel other than the couple ranking things I've done, which, by the way, native plug to that live stream I did a little while ago where I ranked every single MCU movie before Captain America Brave New World. So, anyways, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was interesting. I say that because it, the entire run-up to the movie, the entire, I guess, speculation on the internet from the MCU side was, who's gonna die? Which is a very morbid thing to think, but James Gunn and the rest of the cast were really hyping this movie up as the final Guardians film. This is going to be it for the Guardians as we know them, and they're going to kind of ride off into the sunset, and the assumption was that a lot of them were going to die. Well, it turns out none of them did. And not only did none of them die, but I would argue that a lot of their endings were just kind of left there. Just like any other MCU movie. Sure, the Guardians team, as we know them, it's different, for sure. But Drax is still just hanging out there, and, Mantis is still hanging out there, and Gamora is still out there. The random multiverse Gamora is still hanging out there. Peter is on Earth, because apparently Star-Lord is going to return. So, anyways, these characters are still hanging out there. But I think it became pretty clear that despite whatever happened at the end of the Guardians films, at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, even with this new Guardians film, our Guardians team of Rocket, Groot, and Adam Warlock, and all these other people. Phyla, I believe is her name, one of the children there on Counter Earth or whatever. Whatever this team is going to be, who knows, right? Kraglin as well. But I think that this iteration of the Guardians is done. Now, the question then becomes, right, when you're doing a film like Avengers Secret Wars or Avengers Doomsday, where I've said this before, I think everybody and their mother is going to be in this movie. I really just think every single Marvel character that has ever appeared, under a movie with the Marvel banner is going to be there. Well, it looks like there will be at least one semi-noticeable absence, and that's because Drax the Destroyer, Dave Bautista, has indicated that he will not be returning to Drax. So he gave a couple quotes here in this interview, and we're going to read it out here because I think this is pretty definitive. I mean, he does say that he would return to Guardians, kind of, if there was a condition, and that condition he admits is just not going to happen. And he's talked to the Russos of maybe even playing another MCU character, but I don't even know if that's going to happen at this point. So, anyways, this is what Dave Bautista had to say. He says, quote, "Drax is completely close to me. Unless James Gunn called me and asked if I would do something as Drax again, I just wouldn't be interested. If James called me, which obviously is not going to happen, he's doing okay." He's talking about James Gunn. He's doing okay. He's gone a different route. And that's obviously talking about James Gunn's role as the co-CEO of DC Studios. Dave Bautista continues, quote, "But I do want to be in that world. I'm a fan of that world. I'm a fan of comic books and that whole universe," Bautista said. And then, quote, "Marvel DC, I just want to be in it. I made that known to James. I made that known to the Russo brothers. Personally, I talked to them, all of them, and told them, don't count me out. If there's a character that I'd be right for and that you want me for, man, I'd be totally open-minded to it. It's just the Drax character has run its course." Okay, so that's interesting because he's told the Russos that, first of all. The Russos who are directing Infinity War, not Infinity War, well, they did direct Infinity War. I'm saying they're going to direct Secret Wars and Doomsday. But, Secret Wars and Doomsday, not the best places to just introduce new characters, especially with Dave Bautista recastings, unless the multiverse plays a big part in that. So it's possible. But, with Dave Bautista saying, hey, look, I'm done. Drax is done. Looks like we will not be getting Drax the Destroyer. We may be getting other MCU characters that were in those Guardians films. Who knows? Maybe even Zoe Saldana will appear again in Doomsday and Secret Wars. I would assume Chris Pratt will show up for Doomsday and Secret Wars. Maybe Pom Klementieff and Bradley Cooper, Vin Diesel, right? I'm sure that those characters will show up again, members of the original Guardians team. But it looks like Dave Bautista says, no, I am done with Drax. Obviously, we've been talking for a while now on the internet about the fact that Dave Bautista seems like he's very eager to join the DCU with James Gunn because he loves James Gunn. And it looks like this is a reaffirmation of that. So again, just to recap here, it looks like Dave Bautista really is saying, I am completely done with Drax, probably not even for Secret Wars or Doomsday at all. Guys, do you think that there is a chance Dave Bautista ever returns to the MCU as Drax, or do you think he's completely done? Let me know in the comments down below.